Welcome in. Yo, we got a great episode for y'all tonight. Welcome back to the Below the Rim podcast. I'm Jordan Johnson Hines.
I'm Jamal.
Avery Adamo.
Andrew Hinkson.
Michael Riley.
So I want to first off again thank everybody for coming on. I got my buddy from high school, Big Mike O'Reilly, Big Country. Yo, what was it like going to school with Jordan Johnson Hines? What was it like playing basketball with him? Yes, I'm speaking about myself in third person. Dylon. What was it? Was it a great time? Do you have any stories you can share with the group?
I mean, for the most part, it was pretty boring.
Shots fired.
Right.
Yeah, no, I got some stories from back. I do remember in grade 9, we were in the same geography class. And we got in trouble constantly for just singing in the front row. I don't know if you remember that, but all we did was just sit in the front row and sing, and we got in so much trouble.
Yes, I remember, and I also remember the drama, Mrs. Smith drama class. You guys did a really good play, end of year school play. That was great, man. But I want to welcome you guys in. Avery, how you doing? Wow, I'm going through puberty, I guess. Drew, what's going on? Updates, man. What's going on in the world of good looking folks? What's going on?
You do it, Drew.
Oh, hey, I'm a proud member of that community. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm a little down because my Kansas Jayhawks got bounced out of the tourney in the second round, man.
Yikes.
Yeah, there'll be no repeat champion this year.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, yo, I was at the viewing party with Ryan and Kent State got blown out. So, you know, you're not the only one that was leaving the tournament unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Avery, did you get
stats on one of the sites that said out of 2 million brackets made in the U.S., there was none that were left perfect after the first round.
Are you serious?
Who was that big upset? Was it Purdue that got bounced?
Yeah,
yeah, Purdue in the first round.
That's crazy. Avery, did you get any looks at college basketball? I know you were complaining that it got in the way of your NBA sports, your NBA.
There's literally no basketball, like NBA basketball games on TV right now. It's all March Madness. It's fucking ridiculous. But March Madness has been slightly fun, I guess. I think my biggest slight with March Madness is just like I used to say this all the time when people would compare the NBA to NCAA ball, that the differences between the two is NCAA ball is more transition and run and gun, and these guys are just throwing up shots all the time. The NBA kind of moved into that. It's not really a half-court game anymore. It's now kind of run and gun, and they're just running all over the place, chucking up shots. The difference is, though, is you have the best players in the planet all put into this one league, into the NBA, so the shooting percentages are a lot different. You're seeing guys actually hitting these ridiculous shots when you're watching in college, the percentages just aren't there yet. So it's not as fun to watch, I think, when you're seeing like people go 0 for 12 in the fucking first half. It's kind of annoying. Like, I don't know. It's two different styles of play.
That's a good point, man. I was watching one of the games with my boy in Scarborough. Shout out to Scarborough. And like I literally had to condition my mind and remind myself that I was watching college ball. And I was telling like these guys will make their move, like their A move, get in the lane and get like a good look. And as they're going up, I'm yelling brick, even though they're wide open. And I'm telling them like, yo, if that's AD and I'm watching a Laker game, if AD gets his move and the shot is not contested, it's like a very high percentage that it's going in. Whether it's a fadeaway from the free throw line, whether it's like a foot on the 3-point line shot, difficulty rating will be high, but it's going to go in. These college guys, it's like literally watching a child sometimes, right? You got to condition your mind and remind yourself.
Why do you think that is? What's the big rage about college basketball? Because back in the day, people said that was real basketball that they were playing, whereas NBA is like, you know, ISO basketball, and I think that's changed a little bit because, you know, with the you know, finding the players in the drift, you know, in the open corners and stuff like that. So I don't know why do you think college basketball has this big appeal about it?
I mean, I like college basketball. I like the, you know, not so good players and the lower shooting percentages. I find it more entertaining sometimes. Sometimes when I'm watching basketball with the NBA, I find it's just, I don't know. I presume every shot's going in. Everyone takes 4 steps after they stop dribbling. And I don't know. When I watch NCAA, I mean, I keep looking to my right, your left. I have the women's NCAA game on. Actually.
Right now, what's the there's a coach that Dawn, what's her name? Dawn. What she won another game, like she's beat another record or something like that.
They're undefeated, man. That's South Carolina, right?
South Carolina,
400 wins. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. They got
an undefeated season going, man.
That's incredible. That's history.
But do you remember her when she played?
Yes. Yeah. She played for the Houston Astros, right?
I remember her
not
from
the Houston Astros.
The women's USA team. I remember her from college. Even she's been dope for a long time, man. Dawn Staley's legit.
Yes. Houston Comets. There we go. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so kind of pivoting into NBA. I mean, if we want to stay in college, we can. Ja Morant's coming back. Memphis Grizzlies rivalry with Golden State Warriors. Andrew Wiggins, the rumors, a lot of the NBA stuff going on right now is involving these two teams. I'll give it to the panel. Jamal, you have any thoughts on it? Avery, Mike?
You want to talk about your boy Dylan Brooks getting up in people's face all of a sudden?
You like it? You vibe with it?
Did you guys see Klay Thompson's tweet?
What did he say?
Klay Thompson was like, Dylan Brooks isn't gonna be shit in 10 years, basically. So he's like when he retires, see if anyone talks about Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna remember this kid's name.
Yeah.
Which is a real harsh comment, but it's slightly true. Like he's not wrong. Is Dylan Brooks gonna be an all-star? Is Dylan Brooks gonna be all NBA? Is Dylan Brooks gonna, I don't know, be in a slam dunk competition or a 3-point competition even? Like you're not, unless Dylan Brooks wins a championship, he's not gonna be remembered on a team. Like I remember the entire 08 Celtics because they won a championship. Like I could basically tell you their whole roster right now, like Leon Poe, fucking Kendrick Perkins, like all those guys. If you're on a winning team, that goes farther. Like those people are remembered, but I don't know if Memphis is gonna win this year or like they could win in the future. I'm not saying they're never possible of winning, but I don't know if this year is their year.
I think this year is definitely not their year. I think we all know that.
Like think of how much people. It's crazy at the start of like the off season when people were like, who projected to be MVP this year? People had John Morant and Luka at basically 1 and 2. Though. The whole year, all you've heard about is Giannis, Nikola Jokic,
and
Joel Embiid, and Jason Tatum. Those are the only really 4. And people talked about KD when he was going on a stretch of craziness. And I guess AD for a minute when he was going on a stretch of craziness. But other than that, you really haven't heard any other name.
Right.
And
so who's leading in your MVP race right now? Who do you Embiid?
I don't even know. Like I think by there's 11 games left. I think
something like that.
If I'm a voter, I think the last week matters. Like I think people a lot of times act like they settle who's the MVP like the last month or like the last 2 months, and it's like there's still a month left. Like there's a lot. Someone could average 40 for a month, and that would change a lot of opinions.
Shea Gilchrist just dropped 40. Like, do you think these guys? Like, do you think he's gonna get most improved? Like, let's go down that list. Yeah. Who do you?
SGA?
Excuse me. Yeah. That Toronto boy. Yeah. So who do you have, Mike? Who do you have winning MVP? Who do you have winning most improved? Who do you have winning defensive player of the year, 6th man of the year, coach of the year? And then we can go around. Absolutely. We can go in a circle.
Oh, shit. That's a lot.
I know. It just
right now. Tell me right now, Mike.
MVP right now, I think is Embiid. It again depends what happens in the next month, but I think he's making a solid case to be MVP over Jokic. Most improved, I think, is Shea. I would be surprised if that wasn't it. Defensive player of the year is interesting because it seems like there's a bunch of players that are out there that people like. I personally, being from Toronto, think OG should have a shot.
Whoa.
Year, but not a popular opinion at this point.
When you said it, I'm like, are you biased? You biased? Well, I mean, no, he is a great defensive stopper. Absolutely. He's always going up against like the best player on the other team. So Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, I mean, he's solid. I think I think he's the leader right now. I mean, he's a good player. would guess that more people are going to vote him. So
Okay.
I think he
I
would be.
thought, didn't he legally change his name to the Black Panther or no? Is not official yet?
I haven't heard it.
That's funny. That's okay. All right. So real quick, who do you have sixth man of the year? You got Russ or you got Norm Powell?
I neither.
Yikes.
Uh,
Yikes. Yikes.
I actually haven't thought about sixth man of the year. I'd have to actually do some research. I don't know.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I can say Russ or Norman Powell weren't in my head.
Do you have a coach of the year or you haven't gone that far? Because,
I think it's Mike Brown.
Yeah, Sacramento. Yeah.
I mean, Sacramento is.
Ooh, De'Aaron Fox might get that most improved.
That's
yeah.
actually, yeah.
He might get that most
Sacramento's on
improved
fire.
also.
I
Okay.
don't really like when they give most improved to players like that, to be honest. Shea's projection is supposed to be where he is. Maybe not averaging 30 points projected, but like he was projected to be an all-star. If you're like Austin Reeves is somebody that I could see being looked at for most improved.
He had 35 points last night.
Yeah,
Yep.
like he's somebody that was averaging 6 points last year, and Tatum took a big step up this year. Those are guys that I think are like more not deserving of most improved, but like should be looked at a little more. Like I seen Turkoglu talk about it when he won most improved, and he was saying he's saying the reason he won most improved was because they snubbed him on the All-Star and couldn't give him an All-Star vote, so they gave him most improved instead. Apparently, that's what I heard him say. And it basically, he was like, where I was in my career, it didn't make sense for me to get most improved. So he was actually upset about the most improved, apparently.
Wow. I'm a little upset with Hudu Turkoglu because when he was in Toronto, he played like shit. He was, you know.
He liked his pizza.
He liked his pizza. He was in Yorkville partying. Drew, okay, so real quick, Drew, rapid fire. Here we go. MVP candidate.
I think in reality, the best player in the league is not going to win the MVP this year. I think if we all really put our mind to it and could pick a draft of all the players, I think we're all really probably taking Giannis first overall. But
wow.
the MVP voting, to me, I've kind of been turned off ever since Kobe got robbed in one of those Nash years. But we all know the MVP tends to go to the best player on the team with the best record. That's just how it tends to go most of the years, right?
Which actually might be Giannis, though, this year.
It's possible, right? But Giannis gets kind of like punished for being so dominant. It's kind of weird. So I think at the end of the day, the guy who's crying the most about not winning it, who it seems to mean the most too, is Joel Embiid, right?
Okay.
Joel Embiid's a good crier. He's a good lobbyer. He's probably going to go into politics when his career is done, to be honest. So I'm going to say Giannis is going to lose out to Embiid this year.
Okay. Sixth man of the year. Who do you got?
The sixth man of the year. You know what? I was actually kind of leaning towards the popular opinion with Russ, and who's the other guy that you guys were talking about after Russ?
Norm Powell.
Norm Powell, right. The two popular opinion, but I kind of like my boy, the white Kobe, Hillbilly Kobe down in LA right now. Hillbilly Kobe's tearing it up, boy.
He's tearing it up.
Looking like he's
on a tear.
Yeah. And there's always more pressure when you're a Laker. We all know that.
Right.
It could be
Spotlight's already on
game on a Tuesday night against the Brooklyn Nets, and there's going to be a sold-out building.
Right.
So
every night.
Pressure as a Laker. So I'm going to go with Hillbilly Kobe.
Okay. Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year, I think without a doubt, this one is going to go to Brook Lopez.
Whoa!
On Milwaukee. That guy's he changes shots, bro. He changes a hell of a lot of shots.
Yeah.
But Giannis gets all the shine over there. So, of course, he's kind of forgotten. But I like Brook.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year, I'm leaning towards Mike Brown because the Sacramento
That's
Queens.
2 for Mike Brown.
The Sacramento Queens have been a laughingstock in the NBA since I can remember. Like the Raptors came in as a expansion team after them, and we've won
a ring.
We won a ring.
Yeah.
I think. Like, do you still remember that game when Weber twisted his ankle and went down? And he was crying.
You know what? I kind of like the Brook Lopez pick. I think that's a fair pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Milwaukee's been killing it all year. They've been like almost ranked first defensive team almost all year. When Brook Lopez isn't in the game, it shows. So I think, which is crazy too, because in the most recent of years, they've been talking about like those types of guys in playoff situations not even being in the game. If Brook Lopez is still doing what he's doing in the playoffs, I think maybe that'll change like the narrative on a lot of like the centers in the last while. Because like Rudy Gobert, how many times have we seen him like been basically put to the bench because he can't stay in rotation? So like in playoffs, it matters with matchup and everything. And I think it'll be cool to see if Brook Lopez could actually stay on the floor in the playoffs this year. So,
who's your coach of the year?
Yeah, I got to go with the panel. I think Mike Brown is probably Sacramento's the craziest. Like if you look at the standings, Sacramento's the only team that is really nobody would have projected them being as high as they are. They're right now in the second spot in the West with 43 and 27, which is absolutely insane. If I were to look at my projected list from the start of the year, I'm pretty sure I sent it to you in the off season, actually, Jordan. I bet you I didn't even have Sacramento in the playoffs.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us did.
Still?
Yeah.
No. Who's good off the bench? The dude that they sent out of Toronto. There were some rumors that came out about him, about some type of sexual, maybe assault or some type of rumor about him in drama with a girl. And Toronto, like they normally do, whenever there's any rumors, check Roberto Alomar. There's so many times where we've had a star player, a rumor comes around, and they ship him out of town before he gets proven guilty or proven innocent or whatever. And Terrence Davis is stepping up big.
Oh, right that Terrence Davis. Okay, yeah.
The Raptors could use him off their bench right now.
Yeah. He was playing well in Toronto, and then that thing happened. Okay. Wow. And then, all right, so Avery, coming back to you real quick, who's your MVP pick and who's your most improved? I mean, so you already did Austin Reeves, but who's your MVP pick? And then, that's all you got to do, right? MVP pick?
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, and six man.
Yeah. Hey, six man. I got my boy Malik Monk.
Oh, okay. Staying on the Sacramento.
I bet you I'm the only one in the panel with a Malik Monk jersey. I own a Malik
he was a
Monk
starter
jersey.
for them. I didn't know he was off the bench.
Yeah, he's been off the bench. Malik Monk's a pimp. I love that kid.
All right, we got to get your MVP pick, Avery. We got to get your MVP pick. We're going to a commercial break real quick. MVP pick.
I'm cool with Joel Embiid. I'll be happy if he wins it.
All right, so Mike, real quick before we get to the commercial break, we need to do our impression segment, and so you got the stage, man. Do your impression.
Of what?
I'm just playing with you, man. I'm just playing with you. It's actually Avery's turn to do an impression. So it's on you, sir. Here we go.
Man, what happened to WoW? Thought WoW was my impression.
Wait. Do you have someone that you can impersonate, or do you prefer Mike picks the person that you have to impersonate?
I have no faith. I'm just winging something that Mike has set up. But
that's fair.
I think
you got something.
No,
okay, here we go. Okay, no. If Avery, you got something, the stage is yours. Here we go.
I'll go Tony Montana.
I like it. Classic.
I'll go. It's a sanitation, not a sanitary. It's a sanitation, not a sanitary.
Below the Rim podcast.
Tell him that he works in sanitation.
So welcome back, welcome in. We want to get some NFL rapid fire going.
Can I just can I circle back to the NBA picks real quick?
Absolutely, please.
Sorry, I was just looking on FanDuel to see who the odds makers are liking for these awards, and the two things that stood out to me were most improved player. The odds on favorite right now is Lauri Markkanen.
Utah Jazz. Okay,
which is fair.
Huge season. I think he makes more sense than Shea.
And he had a great All-Star game too, man. Yeah. Shout out to Markkanen.
He was only there as like a bonus pick kind of thing. But
he leagued out.
Lauri Markkanen was basically thrown to the Wolves when he got thrown to Utah. They were basically like, this kid's a scrub. And then he turns into what he is now. So
right.
Who was it? Chicago that shipped him out, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember.
Chicago shipped him to Cleveland.
Oh, to Cleveland. Sorry.
And then Cleveland threw him in that.
So Cleveland, I'm sure right now is like, you know what? We probably fucked up on Lauri Markkanen. We probably could have kept him. But like I
Mike,
don't know, Cleveland's
yeah,
been
yeah.
doing good too, so I'm sure they're not too upset about it.
And the other one was 6 Man of the Year. The betting favorite right now is Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, no, I seen that.
Oh, wow.
Which actually kind of makes sense. Like Boston's been in the. I don't know where he. That's why I was saying that. I was going to say this with Westbrook. I'm pretty sure he's at the point where he might have too many games started to even be eligible anymore.
Wow. Okay.
And Brogdon,
He's close.
Bet you he's somewhere around there too.
Yeah.
Like I know he starts a decent amount when Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, one of those guys, is out, or Marcus Smart is out. I could see him maybe going past the mark, but I don't even know if that matters anymore. Like there's been a lot of times where it's like the guy came off the bench 20 games and gets 6 Man of the Year. So I don't know if it really matters anymore.
Right.
But who knows?
Mike,
So
you got
I
it.
kind of thought the odds-on favorite was Russell Westbrook all year.
He's not even on the list right now.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like you said, Abe, he started too many games now at this point, right?
Well, no, I think he's probably at the mark where he might have started too many games. Like, because I know he's been starting every game in LAC, and then did they not try to start him? I'm pretty sure in LA they tried to start him
at the start of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
it's shocking to me. Like, do they not watch any highlights of Russell Westbrook? Or?
That's crazy.
Everybody thinks they could fix him. That's what they all think, right? It's like when you use him in 2K.
They
use Russell
won
Westbrook in 2K, and you can run up and down on people. He never gets tired.
Yeah.
He gets to the rim with ease, right? I'm not stupid enough to ever shoot a 3-pointer with him.
They won last night. They're in like the 6th place in the Western Conference.
Since they've been winning, though, almost every game, I think he's had under 10 points.
Okay, but he had almost a triple-double. He was 9 points, 10 boards, and 10 or 15. I don't know what it was, but he almost had a triple-double last night. So
I'm not saying Westbrook is a scrub. I'm just saying that.
Yes, you are. You said it. You said it was a scrub.
He can't shoot. Period.
Yeah,
he cannot shoot.
I think me and Westbrook, if we were in a shooting competition, I have a good chance of winning that competition.
You have a chance.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you think my take of Westbrook? Do you agree with it or do you flush it?
What was the take though?
Flush it. All right, cool. So, Magic Johnson joins the group bidding to buy the Commanders. Magic Johnson joins the group bidding to buy Commanders with Jeff Bezos. Is this like, what do you think, Mike? Are you fan? Are you supported? Pro?
I don't really have an opinion. I mean,
who is the Commanders? Is this football?
Washington.
Yeah, Washington
Yes.
Commanders. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They used to be the Redskins, but they
And then
changed.
the football team.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they changed their name to the Commanders.
Yeah,
That's a terrible name, by the way.
I agree. I much prefer the Washington football team.
Yeah.
It sounds prestigious.
Right.
Their owner's terrible, so anyone who buys the team is going to be an upgrade.
Wow. That's it.
Well,
Straight up and down. I mean, I love that Magic is just like hopping on board with all of it, with the Lakers, with its businesses already, the Magic Johnson Theaters, and then the LA Dodgers. They won the World Series, and now he's getting into the football. Oh man, he's a businessman.
Forget, I think him and my girl share stakes in Starbucks.
Are you serious?
I'm not sure who's invested more in Starbucks, my girlfriend or Magic, but you can't forget that too.
Who's your girlfriend?
She's off camera right now, but
she invested in Starbucks. That's incredible.
She invests in Starbucks every day in the drive-thru.
That's good. Baker Mayfield signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whoa. And he's saying he's not trying to live up to Tom Brady. He's like just admitting it. He's just being transparent. He's like, I'm not Tom Brady, but he's content. Drew, what's going on? What's your take? Go ahead, please.
I agree with him. He's not Tom Brady.
Right
I
on.
totally agree with him.
Okay, moving on. Rapid fire. I like this. Sources say NFL owners expected to finalize Roger Goodell extension. Are we fans of Roger Goodell as the commissioner of the NFL?
I feel like people have been talking shit about Roger Goodell since he's been the commissioner of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, is Roger Goodell not the one who Bill Simmons got fired for ESPN for talking shit about? And then they were like, you need to change your tone. And then Bill Simmons was like, I'm doubling down. And then they fired him. I love Bill Simmons.
How much he gets paid. Roger Goodell per year, my God. I mean, hats off to Roger Goodell. That's all I can say. He is paid in the shade.
Wow.
So I can't hate on him, man. I can't hate.
Mike, any thoughts?
I mean, as a commissioner for like the players, he's been horrendous. As a commissioner for the owners, who he works for, he's been phenomenal. He's
right. He gives them what they need.
He's made them a fortune. So
right. Facts on fair facts, man. Okay, let's see. NFL free agency.
Juju.
Okay, yeah. I saw that. I heard about that. What are your thoughts?
That's big, man. I saw he had a good season. He's sure-handed receiver. I think that's going to be good for them.
But the Patriots aren't really. What are they? They're trying to get Lamar Jackson, right? The Patriots, aren't they trying to get Lamar Jackson? I don't know if that's going to work. Do you think? I mean, Belichick, Mac Jones isn't. They're obviously not confident in Mac Jones anymore. If they're looking to get Lamar Jackson, if they're looking to get under, a different contract, a different player, like, I don't know. I know Juju is definitely like he's a top 10, 15, player, but I don't know if it's going to really push the needle.
Where Buffalo Bills played the New England Patriots in Foxborough. And it was the game where I believe he only threw one pass in the entire game, Mac Jones.
Wow.
Belichick refused to let him throw it. That has to ruin your confidence. I don't understand how you can expect a guy to come back from that and still feel comfortable trying to throw the ball when you basically tell him we don't feel comfortable with you throwing the ball.
Do you agree with like all these defensive coordinators that are being hired and they're trying to, what's that rule called where they have to hire diversity in the NFL for coaches and stuff like that?
That's a rule now?
It's called the Rooney Rule. Yeah.
The Rooney Rule.
They don't have to hire them. They have to interview them.
Okay.
Which makes it almost worse, in my opinion.
Right. Why? Please continue.
Well, I mean, it makes now all these rich white people are being forced to interview a black person, and then they just go and pick somebody else anyways. There's never a time when you see these good coordinators who are non-white and they get interviewed and they never get picked. It's the same 45 dudes just getting rotated all the time.
Wow. That's an amazing take. I don't think this is the off season of the NFL. I mean, a lot of stuff is going on. Garoppolo's ready to play in Las Vegas. Sorry, go ahead, boss.
Is the NFL like the coaching staff? Is it majority white?
Yeah.
Sometimes the higher positions are, but like the defensive coordinators are usually black coaches. Like the football quarterback.
I just mean the league as a whole. Is it not probably majority minority than it is white people? Am I wrong?
You're correct. Yeah. The actual players themselves are
you referring to the Negro Football League? Is that what we're talking about?
That's what I mean. So I
imagine you're watching the same games I do, right?
Well, I don't really watch a lot of football. I know majority.
It's
of my
like basketball as well.
Basketball. That's why I know that way more than probably 75% of the league is definitely a minority than being Caucasian in the NBA. So I would assume that it's probably, and I've said this for a long time, that the coaching staff and a lot of even management, there should be more minority in management and in the coaching staff. And I would assume that would have already been a thing in the NFL because I don't know, the NFL is an older league than the NBA. Am I wrong?
Well, let's be real here, man. The NFL, like most things, represents real life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in real life, the owners call the shots, right?
Yeah.
And as far as I know, there are no black owners in the NFL.
I didn't know that.
So until there are, we can't expect to call the shot.
Yeah, I didn't know there wasn't any black owners.
I could be wrong, but Magic Johnson might be the first black,
one,
partial owner.
Yes,
I don't know of any.
Correct.
Shout out to Magic Johnson once again.
And that's
LA Dodgers, NFL football. I was pissed off when I heard Michael Jordan is
trying to sell Charlotte Hornets.
Shares.
Yeah. Okay, so he's not gonna. Apparently, he's not selling full stake though. I heard that.
But the majority.
Yeah, he wouldn't be majority owner anymore, but he would still be a part owner. But still,
and he is right now currently the only black owner in the NBA. And I think if you look at the league, it's now more multicultural than ever.
Yeah.
We can all agree to that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of time for Luka Doncic is going to be the best player in the NBA. He's probably top 3 right now. I don't know. Giannis, I'll still put Giannis ahead of him.
Yeah.
But when is the last time any of you guys can remember the best player in the NBA not being a black guy?
Good point.
Like Larry Bird is as far back as you probably got to go, because even when Steve Nash was winning MVP,
He wasn't the best player in the league.
I don't think he was the best player in the league.
He wasn't the best player in the league.
Absolutely not. I think anybody would have taken Kobe over him.
Yeah, Larry Bird's probably the only one that you could argue.
If you got to go that far back, right?
Yeah, and
right.
like way before that, you would have to go when there wasn't allowed to be black people in the league. So when fucking what's the stupid drill? The Mikan drill, or is that
right?
George Mikan. George Mikan was the other best white player in the league at a time, but that was when the whole league was white.
So we're talking about the league right now. What are your thoughts about what Damian Lillard was saying on the JJ Redick podcast about ring culture, about how the NBA that he was drafted into used to inspire him, and now the NBA that, you know, and these guys worked back in the day, now the NBA is like, you know, these players are entitled and so on and so forth. Thoughts?
Can I add something? So I was listening to the podcast, and great job, guys. And I wanted to mention, watching NBA in the 90s, players had chains, players had tattoos, players had their own style. If you noticed, you can't have your own style now. No chains, you got to cover up your tattoos, this. But now they're putting branding on the jerseys. So it's like you can't brand yourself, but you can brand what we want you to. It just goes along with what you guys are saying. So I just want to point that out too.
It's because it's all corporate. It's being ran by a corporation.
Yeah, NHL too. NHL has a bunch of sponsors added to the logos and on the boards now. If you look at the boards, like it's got rotating ads. Like one minute it'll be Tim Hortons, the next minute it's Pizza. I mean, there's not much room left to sell anything on a jersey or on the boards anywhere in the stadium.
Can we pull up the Damian Lillard quote? I want to read it because he says, "We pretty much fallen out of the race for the 10th spot. I love to play. I love the competition, and I haven't been ready to give that up. But it does come a point in time, when do you stop putting your competitive nature out front?" So
you had your chance to go to the Lakers, bro. Stop crying, man.
Yeah. So what is he saying here? He's basically saying he's getting tired.
I don't know. I feel like he's basically just saying, like, I think he might be debating on just sitting the rest of the year. Like, I don't think he thinks they could make the 10th spot, is what they're saying. Like, I think they're 31 and something, and the Lakers are 35.
That's crazy.
I don't know how many games back they are right now. I can tell you.
The Lakers are 2 games out of 6th place. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm right now,
they turned it on the right time.
Okay, 31 and 40 is Portland. 35 and 37 is the Lakers. The Lakers are in the 10th spot. Portland's in the 13th spot. So like, it's not like it's not doable. I don't know. Like Dame seems like one of the most intense people when it comes to like the whole ideology of basketball and the NBA and everything. He talks like he's a 90s player, which is crazy. Like the way I just watched his interview with
JJ Redick.
Yeah, with JJ Redick. Now, he seems like a pretty emotional dude. Like, I think that if Dame was in a bigger market, if we had seen Dame in LA for his whole career, you would see a different type of dude from Dame.
But he also said, sorry to cut you off, but because I didn't want to miss this part. He said that he actually has a life. Like when he leaves, he hangs out with his cousin. He plays with his kids. He has a life. Like he's not Damian Lillard when he's out on the streets, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a person that has that type of personality, that temperament where you can just be normal, you know, and you're not always on, I think Portland and that small market, you know, reverie, that appreciation for that kind of smaller community isn't like a bad thing, you know, but yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I think it's just that, like, how long's Dame been in the league now? Like 10 years? Like, I think it's just Dame has been balling for, if we put Dame in the 90s, we would talk about Dame like he was one of the greatest point guards of all time. Mm-hmm. The shit that Dame does, he just happens to be in a time where Curry is basically a kind of Dame version and is winning. So
I always remember when he hit that big shot when they were playing against
Houston?
OKC.
Oh,
Do you remember what he said, Mike? When
No.
when he was interviewed, what did Paul George say about the shot?
the
I
Steph
don't-
Curry shot or the Dame shot?
Dame shot. The Dame shot. That was almost from center.
That he was like, I had my hand up, I was playing good D. It's like
Yeah,
that.
and he's like,
I
"That's
was
a bad
playing
shot.
good defense.
That's just a bad shot."
Yeah.
Iconic,
good.
bro. It's iconic.
That's good.
It's crazy though. Dame has some of the biggest shots in playoff history. Like
Right.
that's what I mean. If Dame were to actually get some of these wins and be getting the love that he realistically deserves, that you would see a different type of dude from him. I feel that it's like slightly sad to hear him talk about shit because like, yeah, I understand that if I'm Damian Lillard and I get drafted to Portland and I start balling out as soon as I get the ball, basically, why would I want to leave? Like I know that I could average 30 and 10. I know that I could drop 70 on people. All I need is a little bit of help here and I could win. Like that's all I need. But it's if you're gonna continuously just get more and more depressed each year that you're not winning, like I don't know if it's worth it to stay. And it's very clear that he's slightly in his head about that shit. Like
And
it's
nobody wants to go to Portland.
yeah, it's gonna suck if Dame retires and he's one of those guys that never got a ring because the entire time we're gonna all be like he should have got a ring. Like he had the talent to do it. Like AI is another example. Like if AI had help when he was in Philly, AI probably would have won. Like he just happened to go up against the Lakers.
He had Eric
beat
Snow.
down.
You don't give props to Eric Snow?
No, I'm not giving props to Eric Snow. I put him on all my 2K
Tyrone
teams.
Hill get the game with 3 fouls.
Yeah, like,
You know what though, man? I gotta be honest with you. I kind of feel a little bad for Dame when I heard CJ McCollum was leaving him. I mean, those two guys were kind of like the Batman and Robin vibe. But when CJ left him, I'm sure he felt kind of deserted. And I mean, he could look at the roster himself and tell them Trailblazers ain't really going nowhere. It doesn't matter how great you are, because it's been proven time and time again, you need at least a big two in the NBA to be relevant. In reality, to win a title, you should have a big three if you really, really want to have a shot to win the title. This is the NBA, man. LeBron changed the rules when he took his talents to South Beach. He showed you that you kind of need a big three, right? Now, at the end of the day, I was the first person that called Giannis a dummy. And I said right away, when he did not leave Milwaukee and go to the Raptors, I thought Masai Ujiri was going to pull off one of his Messiah moves and get Giannis down here. And Giannis turned down the Raptors and signed the max deal and stayed in Milwaukee. And I couldn't believe that. Because I'm like, who the hell would ever want to stay in Milwaukee? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he stayed there and he won a title in Milwaukee. So I kind of ate my words there. So maybe Dame Lillard can do that too. You never know, right?
You never know.
Yeah, I think people look at titles in the NBA completely differently than I only watch NBA. But from how people talk about like the greatest players of all time and everything, you get if AI won a title against LA that year, say in 01, their AI on the list of where he is completely changes. Like, so that you could say that with a lot of players, and it's a big deal to a lot of these guys where you want to end up. And I think for some of them, it's just not. Like, I don't think that's what people always just talk about Bargnani with, that he just didn't have the like heart to actually want to play basketball or want to do it. Some people want to be looked at as one of the greatest players of all time. I think Dame is one of those guys. So for him to not win in Portland the entire time, it's going to be really depressing if he ends up finishing his whole career without getting a win.
It's hard to win in the NBA, man. Yeah. You see it, right? It's not. You can be a really good team, like a really good. Like, how many years did the Raptors bring a really good team into the playoffs? Like respectable records, like 20, 30 games over 500, whatever their marks were that they were going to play. But to be a really good team is not the same as being the best team in the NBA. There's always that one team that's like loaded or has a couple superstars playing out of their mind. Like you talk about AI, he would have had to beat Kobe and Shaq to win that title. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. I don't think he would have been able to do that. No.
Like, come on, man. That's like, it would have taken a miracle.
That's what I mean.
He didn't have enough. No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't get, if he did though win that title, the amount of the amount of love that he would get over, like, I feel like some people would put him over Wade on the list, and like just because of that one ring. So like it does matter. It matters for a lot of people, and I think maybe Dame is just like, I believe that I could be that guy. Like Isaiah Thomas did it twice in Detroit. They also had a solid fucking team. It matters who's riding with you. So I think that if Dame wants to stay there his entire career, which would be cool. I like to see when guys don't jump around ever. Like my favorite players, it's like I enjoyed that Kobe was in LA the entire time. I enjoyed that Dirk was in Dallas the entire time. Like it was cool to see. I enjoyed that Duncan was in San Antonio the entire time. So like if Dame wants to do that, it's going to be on him if he wants to get a ring or not. But it's also on another big name free agent coming along to help him out.
And how is he going to get a big name free agent to join him in Portland?
Yeah.
I think they would almost need to hit the draft lottery and get a guy like Zion to join him in.
With that. And they're always middle of the pack. They're always middle of the pack. Always. So they're never going to be far enough to get a big draft pick.
Right. So Dame's too good. He needs to get injured bad enough one year that he misses like the whole year.
God forbid.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
But that's how a lot of these dynasties even started. Like, hey, Larry Bird gets injured one year. They end up getting a big draft pick. That changes the whole course of the Celtics. Tim Duncan gets injured one year. David Robinson gets injured one year. They end up getting Tim Duncan. That changes the whole course of San Antonio. So, like, it matters how things play out. The draft is a huge thing. Whoever gets Victor Wembanyama, like, I was looking at the standings today because I seen Gilbert Arenas talking shit about 80s basketball and how there is absolutely no talent in 80s basketball, which is an extremely harsh take. If you look at the whole league from, 1983, say, and you look at every single team and go down the list, I can promise you there's more teams then that had not scrub players, but you're like, there's no all-star here. There's no all-NBA player here. You could go down the entire list of the NBA right now, and there's like 3 teams that don't have that guy. And those 3 teams are like Detroit, Orlando, and Houston. Those 3 teams still have, and San Antonio, 4 teams. Those guys still have a player that could be that guy. Fucking Kevin Porter Jr. is not a scrub. Jalen Green's not a scrub. Keldon Johnson's not a scrub. Jabari Smith.
That's exactly how the Sacramento Kings built their team, right?
Yeah,
they just kept finishing low enough year after year. I got a bunch of guys, right?
Exactly. I do think that the league now is more talented than it's ever been. And I think just basketball as a whole is more talented than it's ever been. It's crazy to see where it's gone.
This whole episode is probably going to be a lot of NBA stuff because a lot's going on. I'm going to stay with the NBA because, we got a little NFL update. We had Lillard's take. What are the thoughts, concerns, opinions, emotions, reactions to Andrew Wiggins? I'm just gonna.
True, I want to hear your go.
I think it's fucked up. I don't even know what's going on. But that's just.
The Kansas Jayhawks. I guess
the picture you sent was jokes.
The Jayhawks took a lot of beatings this week. Andrew Wiggins being a Kansas former Jayhawk himself. Honestly, I feel bad for him, bro. I feel really bad for him because 2 days ago.
Do you?
I do. Because 2 days ago, the rumor started that his wife cheated on him with his best friend, and one of the kids might not be his. It started out as a rumor. Within less than 48 hours, bro, I'm hearing people make TikTok videos. And it's the biggest joke. And it's basically like they're confirming it. Like both kids are not his.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification. NHL update. And then we got to get into the final thoughts. And then we got to get the heck out of here.
NHL update. There's about 10 to 12 games left in the season, bro. Not a whole lot has changed. What I can tell you it is pretty much confirmed that the Leafs are going to play Tampa Bay in the first round. Boston finally has double-digit losses on the season. They have, I think, 11 losses now. So just like I thought towards the end of the year, that juggernaut is starting to show a little bit of chinks in the armor. The team that I'm really starting to get worried about that is getting hot at the right time, and I'm just glad they're in the Western Conference, are the Edmonton Oilers. Like I told you last week, that dude Connor McDavid is on fire. This boy is averaging like 2 points a game right now. He scores in every single game he played, and he makes it look so easy. So in reality, when the playoffs come along, you see teams starting to increase their stars' ice time, right? It's kind of like the NBA. You don't put your scrubs out there in important times. So you're going to have McDavid on the ice even more when the playoffs come, and he is uncoverable. He's unstoppable. So I'm kind of just watching them from afar. And if you want to start picking a dark horse on a team to finally go deep in the playoffs that's out of Canada, I'm not even going to say my Maple Leaf. I'm going to say look out for the Edmonton Oilers right now.
Wow. Mike, do you have any thoughts? Because I know you're a hockey guy. Do you have any thoughts you want to add to that real quick before we get into the final thought?
I mean, no, just quickly, I like the take on the Oilers. I just need to see them do something in the playoffs before I can believe that. I mean, Connor McDavid's been that good for the last 2 or 3 years, him and Draisaitl. And when the playoffs come, they're able to just slow them down because they don't have enough scoring anywhere else. But yeah, it's a weird year. There's really no team that I love per se. I mean, Boston is clearly the best team in the league.
Start to finish right now, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just looking at the standings right now, and it's crazy. Everyone's so close, and there's so many good teams.
True indeed, man. It's going to be a great playoffs. I can't wait. And it comes along at the same time as the NBA playoffs. That's when it's hard to get a hold of me, man. It's the best time of the year.
Well, that's why we have you on the Below the Rim podcast, man.
There
This
you
is
go.
why you're right where we need you. Right where we need you. All right, we're gonna go into our final thoughts. Real quick, Avery, what are your final thoughts, man?
My final thoughts are Gilbert Arenas' take on 80s basketball being absolute trash is a lot. It was hard to take, but I think that his theory on the whole league being high on cocaine at the time is slightly true from the stories that you hear from other players.
Shout out to Calvin Murphy.
Yeah, shout out to fucking Michael Ray Richardson. Guy's a legend. I think that the league is at the best place it's ever been right now. Hopefully cocaine doesn't infect the league again, but it's possible. Who knows? But again, I think his take on 80s ball being terrible is ridiculous. I think it's crazy that he went from being like 60s ball is terrible, now 80s ball is terrible. He didn't really say anything about 70s ball, but he kind of talked shit about it. Like, I feel like in another 5-10 years, he'll probably say 90s ball is trash.
Beautiful. Mike, final thoughts, 60 seconds.
My final thought, if we stick with the NBA, might be a bit of a hot take, but I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be a bust, and I would not draft him first overall.
Wow.
Gonna be a bust?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why a bust?
I just don't believe in the health in him staying healthy.
Whoa.
So basically, why like him being lanky as shit and skinny?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be hating on the skinny brothers.
That's what I used to be. That's what I
can
used
put the
to
weight
say
on.
about KD though. And KD,
he's too big.
He's still healthy.
He's
Who's
7'4".
that kid OKC drafted first overall last
Hasn't
season?
played.
He got hurt in preseason.
Chet Holmgren.
Chad, and he's skinny like KD himself. He looks fragile. Good point, Mike. Good point.
Wow. Okay. So that's it. That's your final thought.
Yeah, so I'll just leave it there. Just
Wow.
drop it
Okay.
draft
You definitely dropped the mic on that one.
Yeah.
Drew, final thoughts.
You know what? I'm going to stay on the topic that Avery started here and shout out to the cocaine topic because I watched a movie this week that shocked me a little bit about how good it was. I saw the commercials for Cocaine Bear and I didn't think I was going to actually like the movie because I'm thinking a movie about a bear that does cocaine. How did this get green lit? And I can't get a movie in the theaters. But at the same time, my boy told me that it was kind of based on true events.
Yeah,
and the movie is actually pretty damn good. I do a little bit of a rating system, and I had to give it 3 out of 5 popcorns. It's better than I thought it would be, man. Check it out.
Wow.
And Ray Liotta's last movie, right?
Ray Liotta, show.
That's
yeah,
right.
That was his last
That's
movie.
right.
Good
That's
one.
right. That's right.
They do say dedicated to him at the end.
Nice.
Wow. Amazing. Rest in
You
peace.
know who
Ray
directed
Liotta.
it too? That female director. She starred in the movie Walk of Shame. What's her name again?
Walk of Shame.
She was the star of the movie. Now she's a director. She's directed a few good movies though. Usually has a female as the lead.
Okay. Her name. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You do
It's
know.
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks. She's the
Yeah.
director of Cocaine Bear also. Yeah.
In the meantime, between time, oh, she left. Never mind. Okay. My final thoughts, more on the ownership side. I'm super excited to see if Magic Johnson can get some sort of ownership percentage, or some points on the Commanders' new ownership team or group. That would be incredible. Just to see inclusion and all that stuff. It was always kind of a dream of mine to like own the Toronto Raptors, or at least partially own it. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to own my own movie studio that's actually executive producing this. So, dreams come true, and I'm grateful. Shout outs to Warrior Strong. I got the email today. It's a sports movie, a basketball sports movie, and I got the email today that I got to do about 3 hours of ADR.
Hey.
So I'm excited about that. Shout outs to Drew for giving us our movie suggestions. And again, thanks for Mike. Thank you, Mike, for coming on tonight. And I believe that's 60 seconds. And again, thank you, Jamal, our producer, and Below the Rim podcast. What are we going to do, fellas? I'm Jordan Johnson-Hines.
Avery Dama.
Michael Riley.
Andrew Hinkson.
And Jamal, producer in the cut. And what we going to do, fellas? We going
That shit.
LeBron James is a basketball player. This is basketball, okay?